All right, so my name's Ira Morgan. Jack Rackley and I did our project on the movie Catch Me If You Can, and the main character right here is Frank Abagnale Jr., played by Leonardo DiCaprio. And some background information about him: he grew up in New York in the early '60s, and he grew up an only child of his two parents, Frank Abagnale Sr. and Paulette Abagnale. And to really start the movie off, his home situation becomes unstable, which causes money problems for his family because his dad did tax fraud, which his son, Frank Jr., and Paulette didn't know about. And Paulette has an affair with Frank Sr.'s boss, which causes a divorce. And during the divorce, the lawyer makes Frank Jr. choose whether he wants to live with his mother or father. And instead of having to choose one, he decides to run away. And in result of that, he decides to become a con man to support himself, and he's on the run from the law for years because of check fraud. And so for his diagnostics, we did psychopathy, and it's a neurosymphatic disorder marked by deficient emotional responses. It's a lack of empathy, poor behavioral controls. It's commonly resulting in persistent antisocial defiance and criminal behavior. And his family situation really, and his father influences the disorder. His family situation does. Um, he has to learn to think and act in his own way to survive. He never sees a therapist, but definitely in those times when he was suffering this, he would have been diagnosed with anxiety because of the situation he was in. And psychopathy is diagnosed across all cultures, but mainly it's in more severe cases. And a stigma attached to it is that people are always crazy. However, in this case, Frank just exhibits a lack of empathy and poor behavioral control. And for the evidence of this is he shows a lack of empathy when taking advantage of others. He really has no remorse. I mean, he steals millions of dollars from companies that have no idea he's doing it. He manipulates people, bankers, etc., and he deceives those that are close to him. And he shows poor behavioral controls, which causes him to participate in illegal and immoral acts. For instance, he fakes being a doctor, a pilot, a lawyer, bank fraud. I mean, there's one scene in the movie where he's going into surgery and he's never studied like a doctor or anything. And it shows how proficient emotional responses. At some points in the movie, he feels sadness, love, and joy. When his father tells him that his mother and him are getting divorced, he breaks down. And at the end of the movie, when the FBI agent tells him that his father has died, he breaks down completely. Some treatments of this, I think the best treatment would definitely be counseling therapy, and he definitely needed a better way to cope than the situation he grew up with. And instead of running away and becoming a con man, he definitely could have coped with his parents' divorce a little bit better because he would have been around his parents and they could have gotten him the treatment he needed because he was a young kid. And I mean, literally, and there's a stigma associated with therapy during this time, and it could have been negative. This film it shows a more common form of psychopathy, or I mean, sorry, psychopathy. And instead of showing the extremes, it shows a more common form of it, of course, through a movie. And it shows accurate characteristics of the disorder. And it really can help the general public to see the personality disorder, psychopathy, is more applicable to everyday people. The movie overall was great. I enjoyed watching it. And that's all we have for you. I appreciate your time. Thank you.